craving for a nice, soft, chewy chocolate chip cookie? Well, I'm having one of those days. Hi, I'm Robin from CookingMexicanRecipes.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make my delicious recipe for chocolate chip cookies. Now, when I make chocolate chip cookies, I don't skimp on ingredients. I go for the best quality that I can find. So let's start with some of our ingredients. We'll start with the butter. I use real butter. There's no substitute. So I don't use margarine or shortening or anything like that. And I'm going to use 2 cubes of butter. Each one is a half a cup, so that's 1 cup and 2 tablespoons of butter. And we're going to soften that. The best thing to do is to leave it out for 2 or 3 hours to soften at room temperature. But if you get yourself in a situation where you want your cookies now, and I do that sometimes, I will stick it in the microwave. And what you want to do is you want to just soften it. So we're going to put it on power level 1, your lowest setting, and then we'll just set it for like 10 seconds at a time. And you don't want to melt it because that will ruin your ability to cream the sugars with the butter. So we'll do that first. Now mine's been sitting out for probably a good hour, so I think it's probably okay as it is. What you want to do is squeeze it and see how pliable it is. I'm going to probably put that in the microwave for about 10 seconds. Next, we're going to cream 1 cup of regular sugar and 1 cup of brown sugar packed. For our liquid ingredients, I've got 2 eggs, and to this I'm going to add 1.5 teaspoons of real vanilla. No imitation there. We want to use the real stuff. Okay, so for our dry ingredients, I've got 2 cups of regular flour, and to that I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of baking soda and 1 teaspoon of salt. Now I want to mention on your ingredients, especially your dry ingredients, you want to make sure you check your expiration dates because you don't want to add something that's old. It's going to compromise the end result of your recipe. So make sure you check all those expiration dates before you start. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you about my little secret ingredient, and that is oat flour. Now if you haven't seen or used oat flour before, you can get it in the supermarket. Today I picked this up at Safeway. It's Bob's Red Mill. I picked up some other at Whole Foods, and what it is just basically oatmeal that's grounded up into flour very fine. So you want that fine texture to not be so noticeable in your cookies. And this really adds some really great flavor to your cookie. It's almost indescribable. It's very subtle, but yet you notice that there's something there and you don't know quite what it is, but it really tastes good. The last ingredient is our chips. Now I like to use milk chocolate chips, but this is my favorite brand. I love the flavor. This is by Guttard, and you can get these in the grocery store. If you want to use a semi-sweet, you can. Feel free to substitute. And if you want to add nuts, feel free. You could add maybe a cup of chopped walnuts would be nice if you like that. My family likes them plain, so we don't add nuts to this recipe. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is preheat our oven to 350 degrees. So I'm going to do that. So in my bowl here, I've got 2 cups of white flour already measured out. So I'm going to add the oat flour, and I'm going to show you how I do it without making a mess. First of all, I have a piece of wax paper down here to catch drips and spills. So I'm just going to fill up my cup and take a knife, scrape it off inside, and I'm going to add, that's 1 cup. So the wax paper just helps catch the drips, and it's easy to clean up. So if I go over, whoops, just scrape it off. And now I can just pick up the wax paper and pour it into my cup. Okay, so now I'm going to add my tablespoon of baking soda and 1 teaspoon of salt. Now at this point, I want to blend everything together so that when I add it to my mixture later, everything will be evenly dispersed. So I'm just going to toss this around. So now we're going to add our vanilla extract. I'm going to add them to the eggs. So that's 1.5 teaspoons. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to blend them. And if you add a little extra of that vanilla in there, It only adds to the flavor. So I'm going to mix this up. Now I'm going to add all of my wet ingredients. I'm going to add my butter and my sugars to my mixing bowl. Now I've got a KitchenAid mixer that I like to use. It works great. If you don't have one of those, you can use a regular hand mixer. And if you don't even have that, or you don't want to use that, you can use your hands. I used to do that a lot when I was younger. I would just mix it all with my hands. It works great, so don't hesitate to use that technique. I'm going to add the butter to my mixing bowl. It's nice and soft at room temperature. Add my 1 cup of packed brown sugar, and I'm just going to put it in the bag like this and just push on it and start packing it down until it's up full. So there you go, it's packed down. I'm going to add that to my bowl. I like to break it up. I'm going to add my sugar. We're going to cream our butter and sugars together. So now I'm going to add the egg mixture. I'm just going to stir it up one more time before I throw it in. Just scoop all that in there. And I'm just going to blend it just enough to get it blended in. Now that we have our egg mixture combined inside the batter, I'm going to start adding my flour mixture, a scoopful or 2 at a time, until it gets incorporated in, and I'll go for another scoop or 2. And we'll just continue doing this until all the flour mixture is mixed in. Okay, our dough is ready to take or to accept the best part, in my view, of chocolate chips. 4/2 in. Now we're just going to fold these in slowly. All right, so now I've got all my chips in here, and we're ready to put it on an ungreased cookie sheet. Try to get your cookie mounds about the same size so that they'll cook evenly. It's not easy, but you can get close. All right, I got my dozen of cookies on the cookie sheet, and I'm ready to put them in the oven. I'm going to put this on the middle shelf. Actually, I'll turn it this way. Now we're going to bake those for 9 to 11 minutes. Now if you like your cookie on the softer side, go for the 9 minutes first and see how it looks. I just pulled these cookies out of the oven, and we're going to let them sit here on the cookie sheet for about 2 minutes so they can set up. They're pretty soft, and if I try and take them off now, they're just going to break apart, so we'll just let them sit. The cookies have been cooling now for a couple minutes, so I'm going to remove them from the cookie sheet and place them on wax paper so that they'll stay nice and moist, as opposed to a cookie rack, which allows the air to circulate all around it. The house smells wonderful with these cookies cooking in the oven, and I just can't wait to try a sample of them. Here's a nice, delicious cookie right out of the oven, nice and warm, ready to go, and goes wonderful with a nice glass of milk. So the cookies are done, and I have to confess, I've eaten a couple already. I can't resist. They're, in my opinion, they are the best chocolate chip cookie out there. So give this a try. And another thing you can do is you can, as what I'm doing right now, is I'm refrigerating this dough. I'm going to make some more tomorrow, so they'll be nice and fresh. And you can also freeze the dough if you like. Just make sure you wrap it really well so you don't get freezer burn. And thank you for joining me today. And I hope you'll check out my website at cookingmexicanrecipes.com. And also, if you get a chance, subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. I'll be making more videos soon.